I needed a printer to print out labels for my hot sauce business, so I went to Walmart and found this $48 Canon printer copier scanner. It works great, but the ink runs out every few weeks. So I decided to open up one of these cartridges and realized that it was almost completely empty. That took me down a crazy rabbit hole where I learned about all of these different conspiracies about the way printers work and the way they scam you out of your money. Today, we're gonna be testing out these myths and seeing how many we can bust or prove to be true. In front of me here, I have approximately $9,000 in printer cartridges, and I have a lot of tests. But for the very first test, I have the most simple test ever. I just wanna know how many pages can one of these black printer ink cartridges print before it runs out of ink? 35 sheets of paper. That is what a standard black ink cartridge can print. 35 pages. Now, I got this cartridge on sale from Amazon for just $16, which doesn't sound that bad, but when you do the math, that's 45 cents per page. So we know that each cartridge can print 35 pages of text, but how many pages can it print of just pure black ink? So for this next test, I just printed black pages. 2.5 pages, and we are empty. 2.5 pages. Next, I wanted to know how much usable ink actually comes in one of these cartridges. I weighed it right out of the box. I got 35 milliliters. I then weighed it again after it was empty and I got 32. The answer is 3 milliliters of usable ink. All right, this is 3 milliliters of water. Can you guys see that? Can you see how much water's in here? That is what 3 milliliters of ink looks like. And that's what cost me $22. Watch this. That was $22 of ink right there. Now, the next annoying claim about printers is that even when you're trying to print a black and white page, if the color cartridge is out, it's not going to let you print. I was able to confirm that this printer does do that, but I was also able to confirm that it actually is using some color ink when you're printing black and white text. Now, the important question is, does that color ink actually make the page look better? Does it make your text look richer? So what I did was I printed out one page with black and white and color ink. Then I taped over the print head just on the color cartridge and I printed out the exact same page again. The one on the left has both black and white and color ink. The one on the right has only black ink. Can you see any difference at all? No, there is no difference at all. I don't know why printers do this. I don't know if it's literally just to waste ink so that you're forced to buy more, or if it's doing it to keep those print heads clean because most people aren't using the color heads that much. I'm not sure, but it's definitely wasting color ink every time you print a black and white page. Now, the next claim is that you should never turn a printer off or unplug it because when you do and it boots back up, it's going to go through this cleaning cycle and it's going to spit out a bunch of ink, and that actually uses more ink than printing pages themselves. So what I did to test this was I put paper over the print head on the black cartridge and I turned the printer on. I was able to get it to go into this cleaning mode over on the right. I think it's spraying out some ink as well as doing some wipe to clean the head. And when I remove the paper, you can see just how much ink this wastes. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Now, I'm sure every printer does this a little bit differently, but this printer goes through this cleaning cycle every time it prints a page. So what I did for this next test was I just started printing out blank sheets of white paper. All right, I am still not done printing 100 blank pages. So again, it's not printing anything. And look at how much ink I've used, both black and color ink, to print nothing. In between every single page that comes out, it's going back over and cycling this cleaning run, and it's just spewing all of the ink into some reservoir. None of it is going on the paper. It's just blank prints. After 300 blank pages, this is how much ink I have left. So with this particular printer, I'm not sure there's even an option to keep it on all the time, but it doesn't even matter because it's going to keep running that cleaning cycle after every single page. The next myth had to do with how these cartridges actually determine how much ink is left inside. Some people say that there's a sensor inside. Other people say that the ink cartridge is just counting down a number of pages. I was able to disprove that because I printed out hundreds of blank pages and I still had a little bit of ink left. And then when I printed out my full black pages, this thing knew it was running out in just 2.5 pages. So then the question is, well, what happens when you fill it back up? Can it recognize that it's full again? In front of me here, I have $1.3 trillion worth of black computer ink. So I drilled a hole in one of these empty black ink cartridges and I filled it up with this precious black gold. So the ink cartridge in there is full. I just filled it up on camera. It's printing perfectly black pages, but I just got the error on the screen. Black is empty and must be replaced. I did a little bit of research online and learned that if you hold the stop button for 10 seconds, you can override this error. Surprisingly, this is actually a permanent fix and you don't have to do this every time that it cycles on and off. Once you do that reset one time, you're going to lose the ability to track how much ink is in the cartridge, but it just works and the printer is not going to give you an error anymore. The same thing goes for the color cartridge. To be honest, I'm surprised that reset feature exists. Maybe the public's not supposed to know about it or something, because it makes refilling these cartridges with your own ink possible. So how much cheaper is it to print per page if we fill up our own ink cartridges? This cartridge costs $16 and it can print 35 pages. This bottle costs $12 and it can print 2,905 pages. It costs 45 cents per page when you buy one of these cartridges. It costs 0.4 cents per page if you fill up the cartridge yourself. Now, I thought I was going to end this video by recommending one of these new ink tank printers or a LaserJet printer, and I think those are great options, and you can spend a little bit more money today, and you're not gonna have to deal with these ridiculous rip-off cartridges that are literally spewing out ink when you're not even printing anything on a page. However, after realizing just how easy it is to refill these cartridges, and now that I've learned that I don't actually have to have color ink in this printer to print out black and white pages, really all I want is it to print out black and white pages, I think this printer might actually be a pretty good deal. I mean, for $48, you can't beat it at all. If you just filled it up from day one with as much ink as it could hold, I bet you it's gonna go the whole year, no problem. If you're looking for a new printer, check out the links that I've added below. I added a few different printers at different price points, including this one that I used to hate, but I kind of like it now that I realize that I can just buy ink basically for free. So this is actually an option. And if you happen to be a hot sauce fan, check out Olivium.com.
Olivium, the world's finest hot sauce.